All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Welcome.
Okay.
And welcome to Slightly Off Target for this Wednesday here on AccessWDU.com, Twitter, YouTube, wherever else you can find the show. Bo Wilson alongside Jeff Hart, as always, and our producer, Seth Chapman. What's up, fellas?
Not much.
You know, he always gets the first word.
Because I'm faster.
You know what day it is?
Hump day.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
It's hump day. Yep, getting over that hump. We are over the hump officially. Our athletic season is over.
Boy, was that busy.
It was busy.
It's fun though when the teams make a deep run,
It was a deep run.
and that's why it was busy.
So, Cool Ray, how was Cool Ray filled for you guys?
My skin says bad because I got sunburnt.
The old ginger over there.
Ye old fair-skinned ginger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I was in the press box with air conditioning.
Oh, yeah, of
Hey,
course you were.
no one asked you.
You did. He asked.
He asked me.
So you
No,
didn't
he-
get in the well, though, unfortunately.
Cool
I
Ray
have
was
thoughts and opinions that I'm going to keep to myself.
What are your thoughts and opinions?
You don't want to know my thoughts
Cool
and
Ray
opinions.
was fun. Cool Ray was fun.
It was very fun.
It was fun. However,
But you didn't get in the well or on the
Now
field.
that-
No,
work environment.
was not allowed.
The work environment was terrible.
That's because the GHSA loves to mess with local
They
media.
make it so hard to cover an event.
Yeah, especially the finals.
They go out of their way to make it difficult. When you get to the end, when it's supposed to be the best time of the season, teams are playing for they're playing their guts out for a title,
Yep.
something that they'll remember the rest of their lives. And the GHSA is doing everything they can to make it as difficult
To stop it.
I would almost say stop it, but
Bring it to a grinding halt. Just
it's.
But
you
hey,
know,
we ended up with some good stuff on,
Yeah, we did.
on the Game
Yeah.
3 day. North Hall
Because
pulling it out.
I
Congrats.
refuse to take no for an
That's
answer.
right. You rolled through there. Coach Flo helped you out. Got on the field.
He did.
Got some good interviews.
Bill Murphy was upset with me at the time for trying to get down on the field. And I'm like, Bill, just shut up and let me just work here. I'll get you down on.
Let me do work.
I will do my thing, and I got him on the field. Then he comes up after and goes, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Bill, you're welcome.
You're
Don't
welcome.
doubt me. Do not doubt me.
Well, the North Hall Trojans, winners of the Class 3A.
But we'll get to that.
Yes, we'll get to
We'll
that.
get to that.
Later in the show today. Also on the show today, coming up, UNG head coach Mike Davenport softball coach. His softball team is playing for another NCAA Division II championship. Also, we've got a long list of off-target, on-target discussion coming up later in the show today. And then again, we'll get to the North Hall interview. Jace Bowen going to join the show after his interview after the game on Monday. Just a massive play by him. We'll get to that coming up later. But first, Jeff, we need to roll on in to Mike Davenport. Coach Davenport, who has built a program, a dominant program with the area's talent up at UNG.
Just enough talent to be able to do that. And he so they won their first one in 2015, and it seems like every year they're in the conversation, which speaks volumes to just constantly bringing in not just talent but the right talent, good mix. And we talked to him about that.
Yeah, we got talked to him today. Tracked him down out in Colorado as he's getting ready to play Biola coming up on Thursday. And again, if you want to check anything out on UNG softball, go to ungathletics.com, click on the softball tab, and you can see what's happening with him and where you can watch the game live. Again, playing Biola tomorrow. But it was good to catch up with UNG softball head coach Mike Davenport. Well, welcome into the show this afternoon. UNG head coach, softball coach Mike Davenport, all the way from Colorado, as he's getting ready to play in the Division II, NCAA Division II National Championship bracket. And coach, and welcome to the show first off, and you've done it again.
Well, thank you guys for having me. We're very excited to get this club out to Denver, Colorado, and to get to experience the national championships at the Division II level again. And what a hard and just challenging 14 months for all of our student athletes across the nation, much less here in North Georgia. But for our kids, it's been a hard 14 months, to be honest with you, having your seasons and possibly your careers end last March, and to see them kind of fight through all the adversity, all the challenges, and mostly all the unknowns to get to this point has been quite impressive.
You talk about the challenges you've had over the last 14 months. How sweet is it to, basically you have your season canceled because of COVID last year, and then you come back this year with such a strong outing, and now you're playing for another national championship.
Yeah, it was an opportunity for us to really challenge ourselves, and for me as a coaching staff and our coaching staff to kind of really test what we preach all the time, and that's control the controllables. And once we got in this situation of last year, we weren't sure if our kids would ever play the game of softball again, and I wasn't sure if I would ever have the opportunity to coach the game of softball again. And as we moved through the summers, we ended up talking to our senior class. We had 5 at the time. 2 had some life opportunities to move on, in which they chose to do so. And then our 3, Kylie Smith, Shelby Hammondtree, and Kaylin Anthony, all chose to come back and kind of finish their careers on the field of play. And once we felt that those 3 were coming back with the class we had signed and the kids we had coming in as well, that we had a chance to put a pretty good product on the field this year. And but once the fall started, you still weren't sure if we would ever make it to the spring. So it was basically one day at a time, and I know that's cliche and that's what everybody says, but in today's climate of college athletics, you really had to live that.
Well, Coach, you mentioned your seniors coming back, and Kylie Smith and Hammondtree, they're definitely making the most of those opportunities. Smith, obviously one of the best pitchers in Division II. She's just had a beast season, and Hammondtree's had a great year, batting .350, like second on the team in average and homers and RBIs. It's got to be gratifying to see those girls get that one last chance and make the most of it.
Yeah, and as a coach, I really preach that I want to give these kids an opportunity to finish the game that they love on the field of play or under their terms. And a lot of times that doesn't happen. You have kids get injured, which ends their careers earlier than they had anticipated, or just have a bad college experience at programs where the kids just end up hanging up the spikes. And, that breaks my heart. I want them to finish on their terms. And last March really hit home, because again, for me, that's one of the points that I emphasize is trying to give kids an opportunity to really finish in a championship program, which we're trying to do every year. And once we felt like we talked to Shelby, and I think once she said yes, then I felt like I knew I had Kylie coming back, or vice versa. Those 2 are they've been together for 5 years, and it's amazing to watch the chemistry between a pitcher and a catcher that they've formed over the last 5 years. And there's a reason Kylie has been named an All-American for 4 years in a row, which is she's one of, I think, 4 in the country that have ever done that. So that's a testament to not only Kylie, but Shelby as well, because Shelby handles her, and my pitching coach, Molly Child, who calls the pitches for the last 5 years for Kylie.
Well, Coach, we talked to Buffy earlier this year about how she builds her basketball program at UNG. And obviously you kind of do the same thing, because you have a lot of local players on the team. One, Lakin Chambers from Blairsville, Union County. She's had a phenomenal season for you as well, pitching 14-0, .60 ERA. She's done a phenomenal job for you guys. So you got to feel good about your pitching staff and what you got on there.
Yeah, great interview with Buffy, by the way. I ended up watching that during the season, and Buffy's been a mentor to me. So we try and replicate a lot of things that, I learned for the 4 years that I was with Buffy's program. And for us, if there's local kids, we definitely want to pick them up. It brings they've grown up in our area. They very knowledgeable about our program. And when Lakin was coming through Union County High School, we knew that we wanted her in our program, knew she was the kind of kid we wanted in our program. And on the field, her pitching is just, she put up so many good numbers at the high school level. We would not be where we are today without Lakin Chambers. Probably, to me, one of the most underrated pitchers in the country. Lakin right now is 14-0. She did not get regional recognition, which I get. I mean, there's stats that have to be met, numbers that have to be met, innings that had to be met, and that's one of the reasons she didn't get those accolades. But she came on so strong for us last weekend, and probably the toughest environment we've had in quite some time. And that's just a testament to the young lady that Lakin is. She's going on to become a teacher locally in the one of the surrounding counties, and we're excited about that. And excited for her to see if she can start her coaching career in the game of softball and to kind of give back to the game that's given her so much as well.
Well, you mentioned Lakin. The future looks really bright, too. She's a junior, so you'll have her coming back. And Tybee Denton, a freshman from Banks, 63 innings, 63 Ks, 7 and 2, only 40 hits. I mean, the future on the mound for y'all looks great.
Yeah, Tybee's one of those that I had mentioned earlier about the incoming class that we had to go along with our 3 seniors that chose to come back, and knowing that Tybee was coming in just kind of solidified our pitching staff and moving on with the level of competition that we play. We knew we had to build a pitching staff to get back to the national championship level. And Tybee's thrown some huge games for us. She's had her freshman moments like everybody does their first year at college softball. But there's been also moments where she's thrown some unbelievable games against some top-notch competition in this country, even on the road where she had one of her best performances and threw a no-hitter against a top 10 team. And, so it's the tip of the iceberg for Tybee. She is our future. She's one of the future pitchers in our program that we're going to need to build off of as we move forward.
Pitching and defense win, a 979 fielding percentage. Y'all played 47 games. You've only had 27 errors. I've watched enough girls softball to know that that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, for us, that's something we emphasize on the offensive side. We really want to put the pressure on the defense. So there's different ways. I'm not a batting average guy. I'm more about on-base percentage, where we want to get the kids on base so we can put pressure on the defense. With the bases being only 60 feet apart, there's a lot of opportunity. It's almost fast break baseball to me. And we just want to put pressure on the defense. And on the flip side, we tell our kids, we just make the routine plays, the ESPN plays, the top 10 plays. Those may or may not come, but we've got to continue to make the routine plays to let our pitchers be able to pound the strike zone with some confidence.
Go ahead, bud.
Well, Coach, let's talk about the national championship bracket. You guys open with Biola tomorrow out in Colorado. In your half of the bracket, of course, you're in there with the number 1 seed as well. Also in there with another Georgia team, Valdosta. But what are you seeing on the top side of the bracket that you guys are in? And, they're your first-round opponent. That's a number 5 seed.
Well, great opponent. Biola has done a tremendous job this year. They've kind of played a different schedule with some teams out west not playing at all. So they've played a lot of the same opponents over and over just because of travel and I'm sure COVID restrictions and things like that. So very unique, but they're well coached. Again, they're here, and that just means you've got 1 in 8 shot of winning a national championship. So we're not looking past them at all. That's our main focus right now, is what we have on the table tomorrow. Other than that, the rest of the bracket, I think there's 4 previous national championship teams out of 8 that are here this year. So there's coaches and programs and players that have won the national championship before. So it's really up to anybody to win this thing this week here in Denver.
Well, Coach, what you guys, excuse me, you guys won the 2015 title. What's the key when you get to this stage? And it's like, I'm not gonna say it's a winner take all every game, but when you get to this stage, what is the real key to being able to come out on the backside of this with the trophy?
Well, I think for us in 15, it was just timely hitting and making the plays when you needed to. That year in 2015, we actually got no hit and shut out in our first game. Young lady from University of Indianapolis was phenomenal. Our pitcher, Courtney Poole, was phenomenal. But one play made the difference in that ball game. And so we were faced with elimination. We could not lose again out in Oklahoma City for 5 straight games, which we didn't. But we ended up getting the key hit in game 2 to kind of push us into, I guess, continuing to play and to have a win under our belt. After that, we really started rolling a little bit, but pitching was the key there in timely hitting. And I mean, there were a couple games that we won that we did not square the ball up a whole lot, but we found the holes and we ran the bases very well. And I think that was the big difference, pitching and just putting the ball in play and putting pressure on defenses.
That's going to be the key this year also, you think?
Without a doubt.
All right, Coach, on a more personal level for you, on the father level, I know you were proud of your daughter, Isabel Davenport, who finished up a fantastic career at Lufkin County High School, graduated, and now she's headed to UNG. But what's more satisfying, watching her play or watching your softball team play?
I don't know about more satisfying. I know what's more difficult. It is near impossible to sit in the bleachers and watch those kids play. It's tough. Down in Pierce County was, a great opponent, but boy, what a challenge there. And then, coming home and the game that they lost with 5.8 seconds left, it's tough to watch your kids go through that, but what they go through, what they put in on a personal level. And then, what the coach, David Dowse, what he's done at Lumpkin County, what he's going through. And, but we're beyond proud of, the program that she's come from, and definitely proud of the program she's going to. I couldn't ask for, a better opportunity for my daughter to go play college basketball for Buffy Burson.
Yeah, how cool is it to basically have her in the backyard still?
Oh yeah. Well, when she had some other opportunities, we did our due diligence in the recruiting process, and and it was definitely her choice. And in the recruiting process, you just kind of go and you start thinking about things logistically, finances and distance and how to get to her games and things like that. And when North Georgia came on the table, and that's where that's where Isabel grew up wanting to play.
Yeah.
And once she committed, then you start thinking logistically. Well, she's 200 yards from my office. That's pretty special.
Yeah. North Georgia is really, I feel like North Georgia is going to be one of the up-and-coming universities, not just in Georgia, but in the Southeast. The way that the school is going about building their programs, like bringing in Bryson Worley at golf. I mean, that's a tremendous pickup for UNG. What do you see down the road for UNG? Going to stay in Division II a while, or might there be some talk of moving up?
Yeah, I would think so. I haven't heard anything else about that. When you get the Division I level, you have to add sports, and I'm not sure financially we're at a spot to do that. Our coaches do a tremendous job, funding their own programs to support what the university does, and the university does quite a bit. But there's still some needs that need to be met. I don't know that, competition and success doesn't always mean you need to move up a level. It's actually, I've seen several programs at the NAI level that went Division II that went Division I, and it's kind of crippled those programs. And, you got to be careful when you start doing that. I enjoy competing for a national championship. I'm sure Bryson does too at the men's golf program and all of our other programs as well. And that's something that we offer to the kids that we feel pretty confident that we can deliver over their 4-year career, that all of our student athletes have a chance to win a national championship in the sport that they're playing in at North Georgia. And sometimes when you go to the next level, that's not always the case.
Yeah, you guys are doing a great job. I mean, most every sport is very competitive in Division II. I think, when you talk about the moving up, when y'all moved up to Division II, I remember there was some concern about that, but y'all really put together a great sports program, top to bottom, men's and women's. How satisfying is that, seeing that just materialize?
Yeah, it was definitely a leap of faith. And I felt like I had the best of both worlds. I changed levels, but I didn't have to change jobs. And you would go from NAI to a higher level of competition without having to leave Dahlonega and the University of North Georgia. Our upper administration has done such a tremendous job supporting our athletic department financially and with facilities. And I think that's what's given us the edge, but they've also done a great job of hiring the right people to fit in Dahlonega and what we're trying to accomplish in our athletic department as well.
Well, Coach, you and Buffy, definitely the faces of the UNG program, just two awesome programs that have been built up there, and you continue on with your winning ways in softball, and hopefully we'll see you win this national championship this year.
We appreciate it, and we appreciate everything you guys do for North Georgia athletics.
All right, Coach, good luck tomorrow and throughout the rest of the tournament, man. Again, hopefully we get that national title.
Sounds good. Thanks, Bo.
All right, Coach. Coach Mike Davenport hanging out with us today as he's out in Colorado getting ready to go in the NCAA Division II championship. Just it's kind of an expectation now for this program.
Hey, it almost is. I think I get a little surprised if I see the basketball girls, the women's basketball, and the softball in particular not make a deep run because they've kind of built that into a habit at this point. But I tell you what's really interesting, when you go and look at the rosters, there is a lot of talent on both those teams that are from the North Georgia area.
Yeah.
There is enough talent in this area for a program.
North Gwinnett,
yes, for a team,
Prince Avenue Christian over at Athens. I mean, a lot of area.
A lot of North Georgia, Northeast Georgia area. There's enough talent in this level that North Georgia could almost recruit just this area and be able to compete on the national level. That's what's really cool.
That is really cool. And one of the things you folks need to do, you softball fans, sports fans, go check out this softball program and what Coach Davenport has done over the years with
and
it.
The facilities that North Georgia has put together up there in Dahlonega it's second to none, really, when you look at what they're doing. The softball field looks fantastic. They
the original Lynn Cottrell Complex.
Yes, the original.
The original.
That is
the OG.
Correct. The OG.
The OG. There you go.
and the new basketball facility is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, it's hard to you go and you look at that and you go, that's at North Georgia in Little Dahlonega. I mean, it's just amazing what they're doing, and they're showing the commitment to the kids that they're recruiting. That we're going to give you top-notch facilities, we're going to give you top-notch coaching, so that you can compete for national titles.
And we're going to put you in the national championship.
And here they are.
So, kudos to Coach Davenport, UNG athletic department, and what all they do up there. And sincerely hope we get to read and hear and watch. You can go watch the game, too. Just go to ungathletics.com, go to the softball page. You can find out where to watch the game tomorrow as they will play in the opening bracket round of the NCAA Division II championship.
And he didn't, kind of before we got on with the interview, he was telling us, we were asking, are you saying it's not seeded correctly? Because he said Valdosta was ranked number 1 for like 3 straight weeks, and they're the number 8 seed out of 8 teams. And the number 2 seed was only ranked like in number 22, but then he backed that up by going, look, you got to beat them, so it really doesn't matter.
No
but
doubt.
It's interesting because Augustana is the number 1 seed. If they win and Augustana wins, then you're looking at having to go against the so-called number 1 seed.
But doesn't matter.
So I don't, at this point, I mean, we've seen enough of what happens in these baseball tournaments. I mean, Georgia won the 1990 national title in baseball, and I got to cover that team for the Banner Herald. They didn't send us up there because they go, they're going to get swept in 2 games.
Well,
so we didn't go cover it in person. So I could have covered a national title team. So I'm still bitter. It's a little.
I can tell.
Just a little.
All right,
bitter.
UNG playing on Thursday in the opening round of the NCAA Division II championship bracket. Coming up next, we'll get to a little on target, off target. Welcome to Slightly Off Target. I thought we had an opener for that. Was it an opener? Was that the
That
opener?
was the opener,
That was
dude.
it?
Cold.
I just
I
put
don't know. I was
asleep.
anticipating a little more than that.
I was too. I was
Are we on?
fireworks,
That's kinda
maybe.
like, hey, we're on again.
But we're back. That awkward moment.
Got Bo with the deer in the headlights.
Yeah,
So I told
hey.
you, be ready.
Seth, you got a week to fix that.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna have a little more.
You got a week to fix that.
That was the
That was
y'all.
it.
That was the same
all.
intro that I did last
really?
week.
Really?
Yes.
It seems longer.
The
I don't
very
know.
same one.
It seemed much longer last week.
Yeah,
I
hey,
don't know.
well, on target, off target. Let's get started with
See,
this
the
list.
thing
today.
is,
How about
I
let's
just
do
say
this?
get
Our
ready,
opener-
and you guys aren't ready.
How
So
about
that's
this?
not my fault.
I
Our
was
opener-
ready.
Our opener, on target, off target.
I was ready.
I'm going to say off target because that's
As you can-
Apparently not.
As
Bo
you can
looks
tell,
at me.
I was looking straight into the camera.
Bo looks
ready
at me.
Hi, Mom.
to go.
That
Bo
was like,
looks at me
but-
during the
this-
segment, and I'm
wait.
like, all right, I'm like, get ready. He goes, born ready. And it's like, obviously.
Seth, this was Bo. Hi, Mom. Hey,
Hi, Mom.
How you doing? How you doing? Okay.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
need to work on that.
My favorite segment of the show, on target, off target, where we throw out topics and
This
we
is your favorite segment.
decide. Yeah, I'm part of it.
So we're just dismissing Coach Davenport there. Thanks,
No,
Coach. Thanks,
the
Coach. We
favorite
appreciate it.
segment of the show every week we do.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
I thought you were like, just we had a great interview.
Now we
with
had a
Coach
great
Davenport,
interview with Coach Davenport.
and you just kind of
All right,
like you just missed it.
Again, you're going to take us off target or off the road like you're at.
That's my
Better
job.
Harold
Don't
comment,
you? My
which
job
I
is
don't know
to
where that
challenge
came
you
from.
as the host of the
That
show.
was way off target.
As host of the show, it's my job to challenge you.
Oh, you're host.
No, you're host.
Oh,
I said
okay.
it's my job to challenge you.
I'm glad that was a weak challenge. Okay.
I host, you host, we all host.
Yeah, whatever. All right, Shannon Sharp. Let's get to this. Shannon Sharp calls Julio Jones, Atlanta Falcons wide receiver. If you don't know, I mean, hopefully if you're watching the show, you know, and puts him on speakerphone on the air live. Never once tells him that he's live on the show, on target, off target.
Way off target, I think.
What if it was, though? What if it was pre-scripted?
So
what if?
What if? I'm not gonna dismiss it.
Look,
That's
because
possibility.
he was calling him like, I mean, are they uncle? Is that Julio's uncle? Shannon Sharp?
Oh, I
are
don't
they
know.
family?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
It's odd though. He just calls him up and he gets him. Boom, answers right up.
Just gets him on the phone.
That was a little.
But if you consider yourself a friend, like a close friend with somebody,
Right.
okay, so I call you up.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm live on the show, and you're a superstar athlete, and we're, like, really close, like best friends.
Right.
I'm going to say, hey, Jeff.
We're live.
We're live on the air. You're on speakerphone.
That's why I think it's all target. I mean, that's highly unprofessional. I would never do that to anybody that I would interview. Like, if we get somebody on the show and we just call them.
Yeah.
And they don't know.
Yeah.
And we ask them, like, just a really off-the-wall question, and they think they're just talking to us on. I mean, that would be rude and wrong. So I think it's wrong.
Credibility killer, too.
Oh, absolutely. However, you do bring up a good point.
Trust killer as well.
If they're friends, surely Julio knows that he's doing that show that time of the day every day.
You would think so.
I can't dismiss your conspiracy theory.
A little conspiracy theory. Well,
I can't dismiss it, although I just think if the original question is you cold call somebody like that live on TV or radio, and you don't tell them, and they say something controversial, that's way off target, and that is wrong.
Yeah, so it created a firestorm of
Still going.
Just social media. You know, the Falcons Twitter account, even tweeted that out. You know, and then the Falcons account also got a firestorm of criticism for tweeting that out.
This has created a mess for the Falcons because Julio, with that statement, has cut his own tradability.
Right.
Because there's not going to be any leveraging for the Falcons. He's hurt the Falcons and their ability to be able to leverage. I mean, if it's out there, he's leaving. A team's like, well, you know, the Falcons are trying to say, yeah, I don't have to give you nothing.
Right.
Because he's leaving.
Well, rumor has the Falcons are looking for a number one draft pick for 32-year-old Julio.
Hey, they could have done that
he's owed $15 million
before the draft.
Well, you know, the problem is in order to spread this out, they have to wait till after June 1st. So I have to wait till next week to make a trade. So I'm expecting a trade to happen next week. Which brings me to our second on target, off target.
Okay.
Can Matt Ryan live without Julio Jones?
Now, I didn't answer this when you brought this up before because I wanted to give you my live answer.
Okay.
Yes, he can.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, he can.
Right.
There's plenty of weapons. You look at Kyle Pitts is coming in.
So my question to you is on target.
It's on target.
Okay.
Your question
Or
is,
off target.
can he live without Julio? Yes, he can.
Okay.
You decide if that's however you're phrasing the on target part. I think he can. There's enough weapons there, plenty of weapons.
Well, here's the thing with me on Julio Jones. At this point, the Falcons are in the corner, taking punch after punch after punch because of the inadequate management of Thomas Dimitroff with salaries.
That's the real problem on here.
And now they're like hundreds of thousands of dollars away, and I want to say it's like below $500,000 of space.
They have a real problem,
And they have to sign a rookie class
with just that money.
So they have to get rid of Julio Jones is $15 million.
Or Matt Ryan's, which is
That's not going to happen.
Well, it could have happened.
It could, but it's not going to happen.
It should have happened.
But because McCarron's not going to be the starter, so Matt Ryan is here to stay, and we might as well just get used to it.
On or off target, the Falcons still a legitimate NFL franchise. Not touching that one, are we?
Well, again,
oh wow! I mean, they're just a
Matt
mess.
Ryan's
It's
got another whole new regime coming in as far as coaching goes. So we'll see how that flips over. But you and I were talking about this back in the office a little while ago about Arthur Blank and his oversight of his employees,
and specifically Dimitrov and the group
yes.
before this. I wouldn't want a Jerry Jones guy
right.
with his fingers in everything. You're trying to work something,
right.
and Jerry opens his
right.
mouth and ruins it. The Cowboys haven't won anything in 25 years or longer.
Which is why Julio said to Shannon Sharp he was not going.
He's not going to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
but but you also don't want somebody. Look, I understand you hire people to do a job. So he hired people to run his football program, the same as the football team, the same way he's hired somebody to run the Atlanta United, who ran Atlanta United fantastically
to a championship.
A championship in their second year.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get the right people, let them do your job and stay out of their way, you got a shot. However, I agree with you. There has to be some kind of oversight. Surely Arthur Blank could have said, okay, we got like $800 million in our offense, and we got a $20 bill on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
There's a problem here. It was way too top heavy, and instead of signing all of these big offensive weapons when the Falcons haven't done much in the last 2 or 3 years, so there's no point in keeping all of them.
Well, let's look.
They needed more help everywhere else.
And last year, Julio wanted a contract restructure. Okay, wanted more money, wanted this. They did it.
And he was hurt half the season.
And now they're stuck.
They're stuck
with little money
right.
to sign a rookie class.
Well, there was a big story about the Browns trying to get in on this because they have Odell Beckham. They got another young receiver. Maybe they could trade one of them straight up for Julio, but Julio makes more than them.
Right.
The story was talking about how the Browns are already top-heavy on wide receiver, particularly just the amount of money. Me and you came up with a really interesting scenario. I don't think it would happen, but boy, would it be fun.
Julio to the Browns for Chubb.
Straight up.
Take
that in a heartbeat.
But now a lot of the folks are saying that the Falcons are really want a first-round draft pick for Julio.
Well, dang, they could have done this back in January, February, March. Are you telling me they couldn't have offered Julio back then for a number one pick? Who wouldn't have taken Julio Jones to give up their number one pick?
I don't know.
No one. Everyone would have done that.
You think so? You think everyone would have done that?
I think more than 2/3 of the teams in the league would have entertained thought.
So why not do it now?
But it's too late now.
Why is it too late?
The reason it's too late is because they know the Falcons have to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm leaving.
Right.
They have no leverage.
Right. No leverage.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be like me drinking a Coke and going, here, would you like the empty Coke?
Yeah. No.
No, of course not.
No. It's got some backwash in it.
Yeah,
no.
probably.
Good.
The Falcons it's a mess.
Big news coming out of the Bluff this morning. Cherokee Bluff hiring Chestatee boys coach Josh Travis after 2 seasons on the job at Chestatee as their new boys coach to replace Benji Wood, who left for Buford last Monday. A quick turnaround for Bluff. Kenny Hill and the staff over at Cherokee Bluff doing a quick job to get in a good basketball coach to their program.
They don't waste time at Bluff.
On target, off target on that hire.
Good hire.
Yeah.
I think that's on target. I mean, Josh Travis, former assistant at UNG.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he did pretty well at Chestatee. No offense to Chestatee. I mean, I lived in the area. I know a lot of the people. I mean, basketball wise, it hasn't been blessed with like tons of talent. There's been some good players, but just not enough of them to really kind of compete at a major high level. And he made them very competitive in his 2 years. And Bluff has some talent. And he knows how to coach. I think it's a good hire. We'll have to see who Chestatee comes up with.
Yeah, Matt Stowers, the AD over at Chestatee,
now he's
told us this morning that he is underway with the coaching search to replace Josh Travis. I agree. It's an on-target hire. Josh Travis brings in not only high school coaching experience after 2 years on the job at Chestatee, but I think around 17 years of college coaching experience at Reinhardt and
he doesn't
UNG.
look that old, but he's been around a while.
Yeah, so Josh Travis, a big hire over there, and Bluff is I talked to Josh this morning, and Josh was, you could tell he was torn because he wanted to stay at Chestatee with those players, but then he saw that he saw Cherokee Bluff open, and I think he felt like there's some opportunity. He talked to some people down there, and you're not only jumping from 8-4A to 7-3A. I mean, it's like you're jumping from fire to fire because for Class 3A basketball is really good too.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So and you're jumping into a pretty good boys region as well. So it's not like you're trading one for the other, which you kind of are. But the talent wise goes, there's still some good talent down at Bluff and a good young group coming up in the middle school.
There really is. So it's a lateral move, but I think the potential of Bluff, at least at the moment, probably has a little more upside. And again, not trying to sound mean to Chestatee or anything. They've had some really good teams over the years. And he had them coming back up, and whoever takes over for him, I think will have some stuff, some guys to work with. And an administration that's always been, from its inception back in 2002, has always been behind the sports programs to give them what they need. And so I'm sure whoever comes in, they'll get what they need at Chestatee.
All right, so the one here on this list that really, 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 really ticks me off.
Whoa, more than the Falcons?
Because I've never liked this player.
Oh.
Ever liked this player. Ever liked him.
Here it comes, everyone.
Ever liked him.
Yes.
Didn't like Kobe Bryant until, late in his career. But LeBron James, I've never liked him. Never liked LeBron James.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like a Florida player.
I'm a
or something.
huge Michael Jordan fan. Always have been, always will be. He's the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And he probably got away with a lot of stuff like LeBron James gets away with, but that's fine.
It's okay for Jordan
because he was the GOAT.
Oh,
that's okay.
That's okay.
He backed it up.
How
many flops did you ever see Jordan do on the floor? Did you see the flop that LeBron James did last week? I mean, he fell to the floor, and he didn't even hit his shoulder, but he laid on the floor like a little kid crying. I mean, this is a 6'8", 285-pound man flopping on the floor. He's such a baby.
Ooh.
He's such a baby.
Wow.
He's the first to stand up for social issues, and just go off uneducated on it. I mean, seriously, he just blows up at stuff, and then he flops on the court, and then he goes and does his own thing with his little tequila company.
Right.
Maybe this is part of my rant too.
Oh,
but this is
I
on
think
target,
we're working one in here.
Yeah.
We didn't have a schedule.
I
like these unscheduled rants.
But LeBron James was not suspended for his COVID protocol violation. But the NBA fines Porzingis. Oh, you threw the rant in. There you go. Yeah. I like how you do that. Yeah. So anyway.
Just just materialized right out of thin air.
It did. It just came to me. It hit me like a brick of rocks. So anyway, LeBron James.
Like a brick of rocks?
Yeah, bag of rocks, whatever. Like a brick of the head.
Boy, look, he is he is so ranting right now.
I'm sorry. I'll tell you,
LeBron James makes me furious right now.
LeBron James makes me furious. He may be a good athlete, but he makes me furious. I cannot stand to watch him play basketball. I cannot stand whatsoever to watch.
I don't think
LeBron
the Lakers
James
are going to be calling you anytime soon to cover them.
Ever. I cannot stand to watch him. So anyway, he violates the so-called protocol,
right?
The COVID protocol of the NBA, which is completely ridiculous.
He was supposed to be suspended according to some of the earlier standards that they had set.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Crickets. Because everybody at this tequila event that he has invested in, was supposed to be vaccinated. So that makes it okay. You've been vaccinated,
right?
Right.
Which this I agree with him on. He hasn't told anybody whether he's been vaccinated or not because it's a personal matter, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
But if the NBA says, well, you got to do this, you got to do this, or we're going to do this, and they're not following their own protocols.
So the Mavs forward, Porzingis, he's been fined $50,000 for attending a club on Sunday, May 23rd, in violation of the NBA's health and safety protocols.
He went to a bar.
Yeah, exactly. The league announced this on Tuesday. The league's protocols do offer more freedoms to vaccinated players, but players are not allowed to go to clubs, bars, or lounges, regardless of vaccination status.
Right.
His attendance, however, was not deemed to be a risk in terms of spreading COVID-19, according to medical experts
Quarantine.
that the league conducted, so he would not have to quarantine. So why is he being fined?
Because he's not LeBron James.
So they make the comparison that LeBron James, he attended, this is coming from CBSSports.com, he attended the event to promote a tequila brand that he invests in last week. The NBA did not punish him. And he has played in both the teams' playing games at Golden State in Game 1 against the Phoenix Suns. Now, to clarify this, the NBA spokesman Mike Bass issued a statement.
Oh, good.
To clarify any remaining, this from Yahoo Sports, any misconception. LeBron James briefly attended.
Briefly.
Oh,
attended. That makes it better.
Not long enough to get the COVID.
Oh.
Yeah. Briefly attended.
Wait, we have the science on that now?
Yeah, apparently so. CDC.gov. Attended an outdoor event last week.
You were serious about that.
Yeah. Where participants were required to be vaccinated or return a negative test results. The statement reads, under these circumstances and in consultation with medical experts, it was determined that his attendance, LeBron King James, did not create risk related to the spread of COVID-19, and therefore, no quarantine was necessary. Didn't say anything about fining, but they said it's the same thing they said about Porzingis, that he did not have to quarantine. But instead, LeBron James does not get fined, does not get suspended.
Hey, some people have been suspended.
It's totally off
and
target.
they've been fined for lesser stuff.
Totally off target.
It just
Totally off target. Cannot stand to watch LeBron James play basketball.
My whole thing is
hopes he gets eliminated.
You mean the team gets eliminated?
Thanks for tuning in for Bo's Rant, everyone.
Yeah. So there you go.
Well, you need to come up with some spontaneous.
He is not
music
the
when
greatest
he just
of all
goes
time.
Off like that.
He is not the greatest of all time.
That is on target.
That goes to Michael Jordan.
That also is on target. I would agree with that.
Yes, it is. Go watch The Last Dance. You'll figure it out.
That was really good.
Yeah, it was. It was
That
great.
was awesome.
Okay, we'll finish up our on target, off target with this one from Jeff. Is North Hall an elite, and he has some stats, is North Hall an elite top 10 baseball program in all classes?
Have they established?
Have they established themselves?
Well, I asked you the question.
You asked me the question.
On target.
You
off
asked
target.
someone else that question too.
Okay, and we didn't really set any parameters about
I did.
how we were gonna select this, but you went on the World Wide Web.
Yes, I
and
did.
you were throwing out some numbers of baseball programs that
in the last 4
in
years.
the last 4 or 5 years that have won championships. North Hall has won 2.
So
in the last 4 years.
That's correct. Parkview has won 3 straight now.
But let's talk. But let's talk about North Hall's runs in the playoffs.
Okay.
Maybe not to the championship game, but
Right.
What was it? 2017 state championship,
Right.
correct?
18 and 19, they had deep runs.
18, 19 deep runs.
13, they were in the finals.
20, they probably would have gone real deep.
Oh, I think so.
if not
Boy,
in the title game.
Yeah, that was the team.
Yeah,
that
'cause that was a heck of a team.
That was.
Unfortunately, the COVID canceled it.
That's right.
And then this year, they
won
just won it. So I would say you're on target
Well, I do too.
with the question.
I do too. I think they have established themselves. We used to talk about this with Gainesville.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're kind of on they're on the lull right now as far as the
They're on a big
program.
lull.
The Red Elephants.
Let's be
but,
honest.
for about 8 or 9 years, I mean, they were top 2, 3, 4
Mhm.
program in the
Mhm.
state. I think North Hall is putting themselves in that position. I went and looked at every classification. There's one team in every classification in the last 4 years is either still on a title streak or has won 2 titles. And North Hall is now the team in 3A. In the last 4 years, they're the only team in 3A that's won multiple titles. They've been to 3 titles since 3 championship series since 2013. They're all. I mean, you can almost pencil them in. for an Elite Eight spot. I think that starts to put you in elite status with other teams. I would say them and Buford right now. No offense to Flowery Branch or Jefferson or any of the other teams that have had some outstanding teams the last 2 or 3 years, but they're putting themselves in that conversation. That is this a team that they could go and probably compete in just about any classification? I think North Hall is there. I do. They took on North Oconee and they beat them. North Oconee was ranked number 1 in Class 4 at the time that they met. They played them twice. They lost the first time. Played them again. Won the second time. And I think that they're a program that could probably right now you could put them in any classification, and I think that they are going to compete. And so I think that says a lot because we got a kind of a stunning thing that we saw on Facebook where Trent Mongera, who kind of really look, this goes back to David Dyer. David Dyer kind of got the program going. Trent Mongera comes in, builds it up, gets them to their first state championship.
By the way,
and he retired.
Tip of the hat to Trent Mongera.
Yeah, and he just
retired yesterday.
He announced on Facebook, and that's kind of
he retired.
Yes,
he is stepping down.
He done.
Ah,
and
he's still going to do player development as he
Good
said
for
in his
him,
post,
though.
but
down in Brunswick. He was at Glenn Academy the last 2 or 3 years. Trevor Flo took over for him, and look at the job that Flo and his staff has done, just keeping the they're not just keeping
the
it
build
rolling.
alive.
They're building it up still, and but it started back then, and it's just kind of sad to see Trent retire, but it's to be staying around baseball, but he's one of the good guys. I always enjoyed covering him when he was at North Hall, and I enjoy covering North Hall with Flo and his staff and all those guys.
Maybe he can be our go-to baseball in-house analyst now.
And I know that there are going to be people.
I'm sure he would love to be.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We might have to
He's
get
our
him on the phone.
go-to guy
here.
on the show.
Yeah, we might have to get him on the phone. Yeah, he can probably let
we'll
it
put
rip
it in the
now.
works.
Yeah.
He can
We'll
let it
put it in the
rip now.
works.
He can let it rip
He can
now.
Let it rip, yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
That's on target. There,
That's
bro.
on target.
That is
Yeah, you
on
see how
target.
that goes.
And I know there are other people that are like, well, why are they talking? There's a lot of other programs that are really good around the area, and they are. But right now, North Hall is the only program. Now, Jefferson won a title, and I think they had a team that could get there this year, but 4A was so tough.
I think another one that's going to probably be right there, too, what Coach Kemp's doing over at Bluff. He's building that program 3 years off the ground. They get to the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
So.
And had a shot.
Yeah, had a shot.
They had a shot. That would have been fun if they could have gotten there. Ooh,
that'd been nice.
That would have been so fun.
7-3A battle for the state title.
That would have been so. And look, that is not out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's not.
It is really not.
No, it's not.
And so, look, there's a lot of programs out there.
Hey, look, we could have had Flowery Branch Jefferson,
Right.
too, I believe.
Right.
What, in the Elite Eight?
Look, even Buford.
No, in the
look,
semis.
even Buford, and look, that was a powerhouse team they had, but 6A was so brutal.
loaded,
They ran into, they ran into one of those teams that I talked about. Pope had won back-to-back titles, and they ran into Pope in the second round. And Pope can pitch, and they showed it.
They did.
And so I just think it's great for the North Hall community, and it's going to be fun to see what they do with this second one and how they go from there.
Well, speaking of North Hall winning that state championship at a 1-0 battle, didn't score until the 6th inning. It was, North Hall still plays that small ball game. They still play
Traditional baseball.
fundamental, traditional baseball. And that was truly on display on Monday. Jace Bowen did a heck of a play. I'm going to say a heck of a defensive play, a game-saving defensive play.
Jace Bowen.
Game-winning.
Yeah, Jace Bowen's fingerprints are all over that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Hunter Brooks pitched the best game of his high school career.
Yes.
We're going to have Coach Flo, I believe.
No, we got Jace Bowen.
Just space show. We're not
Yeah.
having Flo
No.
with his interview. So we'll just spill the guts on this. That Flo said that, he had gotten an anonymous letter back before Hunter Brooks and saying this kid will never pitch on a varsity level. And then he goes out and he goes 5 2/3, no runs in the state championship clinching game where they had to have it pitched just lights out. He gave them everything he had and gave them a shot to win. And then Jace Bowen, when it looked like that the that Franklin County was going to come back. Jace Bowen gets a triple to lead off the 6th, gets brought in by a sac fly from Bradford Poyer, and they go to the bottom of the 6th inning. They get 2 outs and then a couple of quick base hits. They bring in Jarrett Bales, who walks a guy. Base is loaded, so it looks like
about to blow it open.
It's about to just unravel, but he gets an out. But in that 6th inning, there was a ground ball. I don't think anybody, you can probably look on the highlights right there. You can look up there and see
it's right there.
There he is. I mean, he was in right field basically making that stop. He laid out to keep the guy. You saw a guy running in front of him. He was going to score. And that would have tied the game, and there would have only been 1 out. With the other things that were going on and transpired in that inning, Franklin probably ends up winning that game. That saved the game. So Jace Bowen, he had the big triple, scored the winning run, had a huge defensive play. He had, I think he had 5 hits in the series. So he was all over this thing. And, look, that whole team comes back. They only lose 2 players. That entire team was junior and sophomore. They won the state title. I mean, they're going to be a handful next year.
Well, you guys caught up with Jace after the game.
Jace, coach said that the 6th inning, he said, hey, man, I need something.
Yes, sir.
And, what did you see up there in that at-bat?
Well, I just got to give all the glory to the Lord. I came up, said this one's for you. I gave it all to him. Good things happened. Changed my approach. He was throwing it inside all game. Coach Gross said he throws it inside, you turn on it. And that's exactly what happened. As soon as it came off the bat, I just knew it. Headed straight for third.
Well, you had a couple of shots to get you in there with 1 out. Jared didn't quite get it deep enough. Were you a little worried at that moment?
I mean, worry ain't going to go anywhere. It says all we need is the faith of a mustard seed, and that's what we had. The big park, balls were flying far all series long. They were running them down. They had a good outfield. We were going to battle back. We weren't going to give up.
When you saw Bradford's bat, any doubt in your mind you're going to score?
No, I was heading straight there. I knew for a fact I was going.
Did you think 1 run would hold up?
Walking into today, I figured we need 4 or 5, but defense played out of our minds. Hunter did excellent pitching. Jarrett came in, did excellent. Faced adversity, we handled it like champs.
Well, honestly, biggest play of the game was that ball you gobbled up in short to keep it from going out in the outfield. That probably saved the run and maybe saved the series. In your mind at that moment, did you think, wow, I might have just saved the game?
Well, it was a reaction. I saw it come off the bat, step in a dive. That's all I had. It was a blur. It all hit me after the fact was over, but got to give all the glory to God for everything.
Pitching, defense, that typically wins series. Y'all outpitched them a couple more defensive plays than they did. Typical North Hall baseball in your mind?
Yes, sir. That's what we've done all year. Starts in 4-on-1s in August in the weight room. We've outworked every team, and it paid off.
State champ.
Yes, sir.
You got to watch the last one. You're on this one. How's it feel?
Feels great. Can't wait to do it next year. Same goal.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. Congratulations. Appreciate it.
Great interview with Jace Bowen, and you could just see the happiness on his face, giving all the glory to God. I mean, he was just a big-time player for North Hall in that series.
Listen, I've covered about 7 or 8 state championship series in baseball now with all of our teams in the area, and I'm going to tell you, I haven't seen a 1-0 one, and that game could have gone either way several times. Both teams had chances, just could not get anybody in. Just couldn't get that big hit there until the 6th inning, and of course, in the bottom of that inning, it looked like Franklin was going to answer right back, and that's what both teams did in the whole series. If somebody scored, the other one came right back. I mean, it was a great high school series. That's 3A baseball. I mean, that's good baseball right there.
That's
you
good
could
baseball.
Put that in any classification and go and would not be able to tell what level they were at. Quality pitching, quality defense, timely hitting when they need it. And what was the best part about the entire series is, it wasn't like a little league game where teams are throwing it all over the place and somebody, has a couple bad errors and that's what cost them. I mean, the team that won that series won that series.
Well, hats off to Coach Flo, his coaching staff, and all of the Trojans at North Hall for winning the Class 3A state championship and putting a massive exclamation point on on the 2020-21 athletic season.
Yes, I tell you, it's it turned out to be a pretty good year.
It did.
We had let's see what Banks boys, Towns boys won the basketball, Beaufort boys football, White County girls won golf.
And
We've
now
got North Hall baseball won.
champs.
It's been we had some podium guys in cross country. Buford girls
Michaela Dubnik winning the individual state championship
in
in
golf,
3A.
and
golf.
Buford girls I think won volleyball.
Believe so, yeah.
And North Hall wrestling on the mat won 2 state titles.
That's right. 1-2 on the mat.
We'll just leave it there.
Yeah. Leave it at that. So
on the mat, they won 2 state titles.
now we shift focus to kick off 2021.
Oh,
The
I bet
publication.
Bo's been waiting for this for a while.
Yeah, we shifted on into the football season. So
we've
a
already
lot of
started.
stuff we got on tap, though, outside of the magazine publication.
We're already having a lot of fun with this.
There we are.
We've got some pretty cool interviews lined up to pump out here before the magazine's up to kind of tease it.
Oh yeah.
We got to sit down with some of these guys. Usually in this shoot that we do the photos for the magazine and for the cutouts, we haven't done this before. We've asked them a question or two, but we sat them down and we got to talk with some of them just to get to know these guys a little bit.
A little bit. Some
It's
fun
been super,
questions.
it's
Some
it's
fun
been
questions.
some very fun
Yeah,
questions.
it's not all
and some-
serious. It's all fun.
And
I'm
one
excited to
one
go
of the
through these.
questions is turning out the way I thought it would. You guys said that. Oh no.
You got 3. You got 3 nacho cheeses. Okay.
You said I'd
We
get
have-
none. You said everybody.
I didn't say you wouldn't
yeah,
get it.
Yeah,
none.
you did. You said.
We also got a great video feature idea to be
We did find out
discussed later. We won't
Yeah.
give that away right now, but we've got a really fun little feature coming
We did
up.
find out that some of the pregame meals are really extensive
Whew,
of some of these players.
extensive.
Yeah,
Like a couple of them.
maybe humongous,
Yeah, after
Maybe
a couple of those, I
large.
called my doctor after
super
this.
sized.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go that far.
No,
I
Nah.
called my
you
doctor.
say 6 McChickens are supersized with 1 chicken nugget on each, slathered in ranch dressing.
I don't know
That's-
that's exactly how it was.
I think it was.
See, I got to call
Ca-
my doc. I'm going to have to call my doctor again because I'm getting heart palpitations.
Caleb kind of Caleb said that this morning that it was 6.
I believe it was
McChickens
6.
with
That's not a
one.
pregame though. That wasn't the pregame though.
Was that not the pregame?
No. That was just an accomplishment.
What was that then?
I think
Just
it was
an
a post. I
accomplishment,
think
just
it was a
like-
post game.
So was the pregame the 3 Big Macs?
Yes.
I think.
Was that the pregame?
Yes.
3 Big
All right,
Macs.
3 Big Macs, 6 McChickens. Okay.
Does it really matter at that point?
Large fry.
At least the guy went with water. Because if he had added a soft drink to that,
Oh,
he
that
might
would've
have
just ballooned
exploded.
up.
Dude, I'm
I-
telling you, when I would I know it's not been that long ago, but when I was a smaller lad running cross country,
Yeah,
that was no problem for me.
really.
Yeah, I could have done that. I could have done that
Yeah,
pretty
there are a
easily.
whole lot of cross country guys out there, Bo, eating 3 Big Macs.
Look at Seth. We need
Listen,
a camera on
listen,
Seth. That
you
was no
can.
problem for me. I could
You
eat 6
could because-
McChickens.
You
with
could
1
because
chicken
you'd run
nugget
it off.
on top of each.
You could because your
It's
metabolism's
not-
so
that's because
high
you're
that
running
you
bet-
just run it off.
You're running between
It's
bathrooms.
not that you're running it off. It's that you're stuffing all that in your stomach at one time.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's the deal.
Wow.
I mean, I have a fat stomach, but I can't do that.
Wow. I couldn't even attempt that.
I couldn't eat even probably 2 of them.
I can eat one.
No, I could eat 2 of the cheeseburgers.
And I can't eat
could
all the
probably eat 4
fries.
of the cheeseburgers.
I can kill
really
some
could.
McDoubles.
Those cheeseburgers.
Jeff can
take the
attest to the
onions
fact
off
that
of
I
that.
can kill some
Yeah.
McDoubles.
I've seen you eat some McDoubles. I think you did 2 one time.
3.
McDoubles.
God, that's like 18 pieces of meat or something.
Yeah, a little. Well, I mean,
Wow.
if
That's a lot.
you were to
All right,
stick them
hey Jeff,
together,
how
you
many?
know.
How, that math doesn't compute for
I'm
me.
just.
And we're going to end the show on
multiply.
that as we
Two-
as
2
I'm now
patties
hungry.
times 3 burgers equals what, Jeff?
18 pieces of meat.
that
Anyway,
math is false.
stay tuned to the website, to our social pages, and everything for some of the features coming up this summer as we continue toward the launch of our kickoff 2021 football magazine and the football season. That's up next.
We'll give them another
On
little
tap.
hint.
What?
This was the toughest of the all-access team to pick.
Yes, the toughest.
And we thought the first 2 were tough.
and we had no clue
That it
until
was-
we put them all together
And then we.
that there's a lot of quality running backs returning in
Woo.
2021.
You know, last couple of years we could have said it was the quarterbacks. But
Yeah.
This year, there might be a good
Year of
dozen,
the running back?
good-
Question mark.
almost a good dozen.
Oh, there's no question mark on that.
Exclamation point!
Yeah,
Exclamation point!
Possibly
Multiple.
video feature coming up.
I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see. All right, folks.
Bo
Well,
says I might not have time for that.
here we go. Let's rock out of here. Check Seth out on his Instagram page at Seth __ ampersand semicolon
3 Big Macs.
cinnamon photography dot.
Well, while you were trying to do that, my
Instagram.com.
computer just did something really stinking weird.
And
I don't know what it's about, but
and
I fixed it.
Jeff, he's at HeartJJ22 on Twitter. I'm at the Bo Wilson on Twitter. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Keyword search Access WDUN Sports.
Thank you once again for committing second-degree murder on my Instagram tag.
You
Thank you so
are
much.
welcome.
I don't know. It might be first degree because that was